Like, he's not taking any time off. Like,
No.
he's shooting every day.
But that's
Period.
part. He takes pleasure in the pain too. He doesn't take time off because
That would be relaxing.
Yeah, it'd be relaxing. Like, imagine, just imagine that. Like Cam Hanes on vacation, his feet up, drinking on the beach. Is that even like a?
No.
That's not even a thing.
I've gone on vacation with him.
Have you really?
Yeah, but when we went vacationing in Lanai, where we could bow hunt.
Yeah.
So we would bow hunt at least once a day because Lanai, you've been. It's crazy.
Right.
It's one of the
awesome.
craziest places on earth.
It's great.
For people that don't know, there's 3,000 people and 30,000 deer.
Yeah.
And they were given by King Kamehameha by the whoever the head dude was in India. He's like, he gave him a gift of access.
Is that where they came from?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that was the actual timeline.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and they're everywhere. They tried.
they're amazing.
They tried to reintroduce them. Try to introduce them to the Big Island. Like I know Shane Dorian was all pumped about it, but then they eradicated them. People killed them. They said they were invasive. But
I think they need to be everywhere they can be.
they're delicious.
They're delicious. They're the most delicious meat
of the deer,
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next to elk, it's for me. It's elk and then axis. But axis are the most challenging to hunt. They're the fastest
100%.
things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
They move so fast it doesn't even make sense. It's like, how are you doing that? You could dodge an arrow from 30 yards away, and the arrow's not even close to them when it gets there.
I had a female bedded at 30, and she jumped the string on her bed at 30 yards. That was my first shot. And I realized, holy shit.
Yeah, they're different, man.
I've got to up my game.
Well, it's like they evolved with tigers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you got to be able to go.
Can you imagine how tough you would be if you evolved with tigers? That would be sick.
Well, that's the problem with America, period. It's like there's not enough, there's too many people running around with zero physical challenges, and they're so soft. Like there's a giant percentage of our population that is so soft. And if there was like if we ran out of bullets, once we run out of bullets, every country can fuck us up.
Yeah. Like you can walk around. I think, well, that's, with coffee, right? The best coffee shops are like, there's so much stuff on Instagram. It's so funny because you walk into a coffee shop and if you see the craziest looking freak, it's going to have the best coffee.
What is that about baristas?
I don't know. But
They're
it's the
so
same.
left-wing weirdo fucking lip rings.
Oh, yeah. How many nose rings do you have?
Right.
How many colors do you have in your hair? And how many pronouns do you have? Because that's like, you're going to make the greatest espresso I've ever had. And that's the joke, right? Because I'll go cruise around like in Austin for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, you see a dude who's jacked with a hand tattoo, he's going to make you a bullshit coffee.
It's like, I can make you pour it over. I mean, I can just pour it over. Like, what?
He'll make you some cowboy coffee. He's going to fucking, one of them tin pots that you put on the fire.
Take his sock off or something. Like, I'm good. I'm all set, man. Yeah, I'm all set.
Yeah, what is it about baristas? Like, how did that become such a left-wing safe place?
I don't know. I think the origin of it comes from San Francisco, Seattle, right? All the, we'll say the left wing, left coast, all of the wokeism.
Hubs.
Yeah, because that also drove most of what I would say is the third and fourth wave, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 basic waves in coffee. The third and fourth wave are the most recent. The fourth wave would be considered single origin, very lightly roasted coffees, and you've been to these coffee shops. You know what they look like. Mm-hmm. It takes you 15 minutes to get a cup of coffee. They typically won't even talk to you. They look down at the computer screen, but it's going to be a decent cop, right? So if you go first wave, which is going to be like Folgers, Maxwell House, that's like been around for 100 years. That's a commodity coffee. It's going to have Robusta. It's going to be darker roasted. That's going to be first wave. And then second wave would be experiential. So it'd be more like Starbucks. Kind of second wave would be experiential dark. And then third wave would be more artisan, micro lot, single origin. And then fourth wave is kind of a mix of the best in third wave that really activates your senses, in the sense of like now they're doing anaerobics. So they're using things from like wine and beer, and they're developing all these different profiles. But that artisan craft, the genesis in like San Francisco and Seattle from third wave, they took on identity politics and then drove it through the trade. It's pretty impressive. It's so weird because if you go anywhere, you can get amazing cups of coffee. You're just gonna like wade through the wokeism to go get it.
Yeah. I can't go there.
No.
I was at a Starbucks the other day, and two lesbians walked in. They saw me, and they left.
What? That's how bad it
They
was?
said, we can't do this.
Seriously?
And they looked in my face, and they said, we can't do this, and they left. I was like, I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
Big fan of your work.
Big fan of your work.
I had a cup of coffee from Starbucks, which I rarely go into, but I was with my family. And it was so bad. A cup of black coffee, solid drink. I don't put anything in it.
No.
I was like, this is like not drinkable. It tastes like shit. Which is like everybody throws a bunch of cream in there and a bunch of sugar in there, and you get your caffeine, and it tastes like what you like.
Yeah.
But if you just try to just drink coffee at Starbucks, it is such a bad product, and that doesn't have to be like that.
Well, part of the problem is
It's
when
burnt.
they over roast it,
Yeah.
because they know it's going to have cream and sugar in it, and
But why over roast it then?
because you can make a consistent profile, and it's just consistently very dark and extremely acidic, basically. And that becomes the consistency in the product.
Do you think people have this thing in their head that the darker the coffee is, the stronger it is?
Yeah, of course. That's one of the huge misconceptions, right? So,
Right.
like, let's just bucket the misconceptions in here, which is, coffee is not a bean, it's a fruit. So it's a cherry, and then you roast the pit. So the second one would probably be the darker you roast something, the more caffeine it's going to have, which is absolutely not the case.
It's the opposite.
It's completely opposite because you got two genetic strains. You've got Robusta and Arabica. Robusta is smaller bean. It's got more caffeine. It's also more bitter. Arabica probably constitutes 60 to 70% of the world's coffee, but it's more flavor. It's got less caffeine, and it's less acidic in general. And then when you over roast it, you can kind of combine multiple lots, multiple variants of Arabica.
Oh, I see.
And then you can make this consistent profile.
So it consistently sucks.
Yeah. But if you're going to put cream and sugar in it,
Yeah.
nobody cares because they're like, I just need something that's going to serve as a caffeine vehicle for my cream and sugar.
I know, but wouldn't that be okay if you just had good coffee and did that and didn't burn it?
Well, I do. I think that's where third wave and fourth wave, it's more directly related to the quality of the coffee. It's no cream, no sugar, and it's more first and second wave, it's cream and sugar because you're going to have to cover up the inconsistencies.
Well, some people just like it anyway because what they're getting is a treat. It's
Yeah.
not. They're not thinking of it as like I'm drinking coffee. Like they're getting a treat.
Right.
Like if you order a frappuccino,
It's a milkshake.
it's a milkshake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
There's tons of sugar.
Yeah.
Tons of caffeine too. You're like
Right.
sitting in your cubicle.
You got like 100 grams of sugar, 200 milligrams of caffeine. You're
Yeah.
like you're skyrocketing with just energy until you crash, and then you need another one in the
Yeah,
afternoon.
and then you're just doing that all day and frying your central nervous system. And then when you get out of work, you just die. You just go home and
Go home and melt on the couch and
Yeah.
watch some sports, man.
yeah, your insulin's all fucked up. You're falling asleep.
The,
Like it
the,
just-
co-
it just
the
comes
coffee
fast.
the coffee nerd conversations just put half the fucking audience to sleep too.
I
Like,
don't
what?
care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. It's so funny, man. I'll start talking about it. I'm like, I should not. Because I was a comms guy back in my previous profession, my previous life. And it's so funny because when you talk about communications and just technology in general, and you start analyzing frequencies and spectrum analyzers or whatever you want to talk about, people's eyes would just glaze over in the team room. And I'm like, all right, well, you guys want to go blow some shit up? Like, why don't we shift the topic because you guys don't
Yeah.
want to talk about this. I know you don't want to hear about it. So in cross training, it's just you try to keep people awake, basically.
This episode is brought to you by Roka. and this is important, so don't skip this. I've been wearing Rokas for years, and I absolutely love them. Of all the glasses brands out there, I choose Roka. Roka's shit just works different. You'll notice it from the first time you put them on their face. They feel great. I can run around in them. They never fall off your head. They're super high quality, lightweight, super comfortable. And they stay on your damn face. Even if you're sweaty, they stay in place even better. They don't slip. Gym stuff, kettlebells, yoga, sprints, chasing the dog, whatever you're into. It could be just leaning over to pick up your kids. Everything stays on your face and feels great with crystal clear optics. Check them out and feel the difference for yourself. To help you get started, Roka is offering JRE listeners 20% off your order. So go to roka.com. Well, there's a lot of people that have a hard time focusing on something that isn't exciting.
Oh, yeah.
For whatever reason. Even if it's like important technical details that'll help you do things that are exciting. You know, it's the delayed gratification.
Right.
They're the same type of people that don't like to do cold plunges or don't like to do certain things that, like, you're not going to feel an immediate benefit. It's going to suck while you're doing it, so you put it off. Like, you've got to have a mindset that there's some things that suck that will make the things that are exciting way better.
Yeah.
Like, for comics, it's writing, like sitting down and writing. You know, because a lot of comics don't want to write. They just want to come out with ideas through the day and then work them out on stage. I'm like, that is great. You can do that. But you should also write, because the ideas that come to you while you're writing, they won't come any other way. And those are like little gifts from the universe. And the only way you get them is you got to sit down with a fucking pad of paper or a computer in front of you and come up with them. You got to sit down and start working and let the mind just slowly but surely pop them out.
How often do you do that?
At least 4 days a week.
For an hour, 2 hours?
Yeah, at least an hour. I try to write 1,000 words. So it might be an hour, it might be 2 hours, and then out of those 1,000 words, I might get a paragraph. Like, there it is.
Right.
That's what I was looking for. You're basically looking for arrowheads in a field.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're picking up a giant clump of dirt and you're shaking it out and washing it over, and got one.
So do you try that out on anybody before you actually? No, you just like, okay, this is the
I'm pretty
concept.
sure I got something. When I got something, I'm pretty sure I got it, but I don't know what it's going to be until the audience tells me. Like,
when you have your own club, so you can just try it
helps.
out. Yeah.
That helps a lot.
You just like drive in. Matt's Wednesday. Let me try this out.
Even when I didn't, I would go to the store. I would go to the, like, say if I have a bit and it's exciting, I'm like, oh, I wrote something that's good. I would go to the Improv, and then I would go to the store, and maybe I go to the Ice House.
Right.
I bang out a few sets, at least 2 in a night. You could travel around. Like, LA was really good for that. Austin's amazing for that. There's 7 clubs on my street now.
What?
Oh yeah, between my street and the neighboring streets. So you got us, and then right down the street is the Sunset Room, which Red Band owns, and then right up across from that, you got Creek in the Cave, which is awesome, and then you got the Vulcan, which is right down the street, and there's a bunch of other small rooms. There's the Black Rabbit. There's all these rooms that have comedy at least 3 or 4 nights a week. So if you're like a guy or a girl coming up right now in Austin, you can really work. You could work, and they're all paying. So you're collecting $50 here. My club pays more. My club pays the most. But all these different places, they pay, like actual money for you to do a set. At the end of the night, you got a few $100. You can get something to eat. Like, there's all these comics that don't have to do the road now.
Right.
So, like, they used to just have to do the road to pay their rent and for food. You don't have to do that anymore. You could, like, stay in town and really build up material and then go out on the road.
Is the material going to shift? I know it's, like, regionally, you've got to have I'm not saying, like, left or right. I'm just saying, does the material have to shift based on where you're at? So if you're in LA, is the crowd a little bit different? The people are going to be more accepting, less accepting, expect something a little bit different
You
than
can't
here.
think of that.
You can't?
Nah.
You just like, here's the joke,
Yeah.
let me run it.
Well, the good thing is if they're not accepting of an idea, maybe you should re-examine that idea and maybe figure out, like, maybe I should figure out a better way to make this idea acceptable. Because there's ideas where I'll start it off and it's just like, ooh, this ain't going anywhere. And then I'm like, there's got to be an angle in here. And then I'll find a whole nother angle. I'm like, ha-ha! now I have it. And then I have to find an angle. Like, what if I was a woman and I was watching this and I'm looking at this fucking meathead on stage and I'm like, okay, like I got to figure out a way to get them to understand that just because I look like this doesn't mean I'm a bad guy.
Right,
like let me like work this into your head first and then explain it from my perspective.
It's funny because I look like this. It doesn't mean I'm a bad guy.
It's an automatic assumption.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's an untold prejudice that like men with muscles in particular are assholes,
Right.
Like instantly.
Yeah, you've got a very definitive look, and then as soon as you open your mouth, they're assuming that you're going to be just the complete asshole.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that.
A mean person.
Yeah.
You know, covered in tattoos,
So,
cage fighting commentary.
I know that you can craft a joke because you've been doing this for forever, but is there a certain amount of pleasure that you get now from bombing sometimes? Like smoking in?
No. Terrible.
Really?
I always say bombing on stage like sucking 1,000 dicks in front of your mother.
Oh,
but the
right.
difference is like there's probably a guy out there that likes sucking 1,000 dicks in front of his mother.
Okay.
You made me do
Right,
this,
right,
Mom.
right.
Look, come on, Mom. 99. There's a guy out there that would like take some. I mean, there's people who are into shit porn and all kinds of nutty things. You know,
So you're drawing the same parallel to like bombing, and people are into shit porn.
Yeah, if you like bombing, you're into people shitting in your mouth. Like,
Oh, right.
it's not fun. You don't want people to have a bad time. They're there to
Right.
have fun. These people work. They're
Yeah,
working
right.
all day. They're fucking tired.
Yeah.
You want them to have a good
Right.
ass time. And the only way for them to have a good ass time is for you to do your job.
Right.
You know, but it's it has to sometimes not work well. And there's just like this moment when I'm about to do a new bit. I'm like, God, I don't even want to do this. I don't know where this goes. But I have to. You got to trot it out there and hope that you could find an angle.
So you don't try those on your like with your wife or anything?
She'd
No
be the
way.
worst.
Yeah?
She'd be the
She'd
worst.
just tear you down?
She'd just stare at me like, what is wrong with you? It's like she and I have a very good balance because she's so different than me. But has a lot of the same values as me.
Yeah.
You know, like discipline, and she's very smart and she's interested in things. But we're very different.
Well, it's so funny because my wife and I will walk around, right? And I'm a very amateur comedian, just around my friends. I try really hard, right? I'm not even close. I'm just like, I specialize in stupid shit that I say.
Right.
Basically, that's where I'm going with this. And when I get her to laugh, that's like, that means way more to me than
Oh, yeah.
like, but my friends, sure, I can make them laugh. Like I can make my employees laugh. I kind of pay them to, but like when my wife laughs, that means it's fucking funny.
That's legit.
Like it means
Yeah.
it means something, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's legit. She's like a one person crowd, right? So we were walking around. I was talking about. Have you seen that Burt Kreischer, Free Burt? Have you seen his new series?
I've only seen trailers, but everybody that saw it loves it.
It's really funny, man. Like, and so I was like, we should watch this. You should check it out. We should watch like 5 minutes. She's like, this is such a dude show. Fuck you. I'm never watching this. But it's the same. It's like what I want to watch and I think is funny. She's like, absolutely not. But then she's wants to watch some like true crime thing around it. A dude that killed his wife. And I'm like,
They love
it.
Why
Yeah.
do they love that?
it's so weird.
It's like genetic that they love it because my kids love those shows.
Really?
They love serial killer expose shows and all these true crimes.
And I don't like any of that.
I was talking to my daughter about it, and she said, because girls don't do things like this, so we kind of want to see like what's going on in a man's mind that makes him. It's such a mystery. You know what I'm saying? Like it's such a mystery. Like most men can imagine a scenario where there's a bunch of people that did some horrible shit in a room and you just go in there and fucking kill all of them.
Yeah.
Most men can say, oh yeah, there's a place. There's a place. Like if someone did something and I knew they did something and they're in that room and they need to go, they need to go.
Right.
Most women can't think like that. They don't think like that. It's not inside their head. And then there's the darkness of it. Like, these aren't men that are doing something to someone who deserves it. They're just doing it to vulnerable people. They're just evil creatures who just want to go out and hunt vulnerable people. And I think women want to know that there are men like that out there that are so different than them so they can put it in their head. Like, okay, serial killers are real.
Right.
Like these true crime shows have showed me this, and I want to know like what to look for.
Right.
That's what I think.
Whereas, have you ever spent a second of your life in fear or fearing a serial killer?
Not really.
No,
No.
it's not a realistic fear.
But if I was at a truck stop and there was some fucking shady dude that came into the bathroom after me and he was like waiting outside and it didn't look like he needed to use the bathroom, I'd be 100% on guard. Like, there's people that will just randomly kill people just for a thrill and get away with it. And I think there's way more of them getting away with it than they'd like us to know. Like, here's a good example. In Austin, what is the actual number of people who have bodies that have been found in put this into our wonderful sponsor Perplexity before it becomes the digital god that takes over the universe, this AI. What are the numbers of people that have been found drowned in Lady Bird Lake over the last 3 years? It's something crazy.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's like 30.
I thought this was just a funny joke for Tony to talk about.
Oh, no.
Landing in the... It's like a real thing.
No. It's real.
Right.
It's real. So the cops don't want to say it's a serial killer. They think it's because it's over by Rainy Street. A lot of people are partying. But the bodies keep piling up. 38.
What?
Yeah.
And they want to say it's not a serial killer?
2022. Data showing at least 38 bodies found in or around Lady Bird Lake. Separate map-based analysis of Lady Bird Lake deaths, downtown area reports 4 deaths in 2022, 5 in 2023, 5 in 2024, 2 in 2025. So this is downtown area. These map numbers focus on a specific stretch of the lake, while the 38 body figures covers all bodies found in or around the lake in that period.
These might be right near that bar area on Rainy
Right
Street.
on Rainy Street. Yeah.
38.
Or
So
other parts of the lake.
So they're basically saying these guys get drunk and they end up passing out in the water.
I mean, all you would have to do is get someone drunk enough where you could hold them underwater.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, if you were a guy who wasn't drinking or you had a really good tolerance or you're a big person, no evidence of serial murderer. Says the patterns match typical accidental drowning risks, young adult men, nightlife, easy water access. Or some guy was drowning gay guys.
Why are you doing smut?
Because a lot of them are gay. Like a giant percentage of these guys are gay. Yeah. Because it's near a gay area. That's the gay.
okay.
Rainy Street is like the party area where there's a lot of gay bars.
Got it. That's why it's such a funny joke for Tony.
Yeah. Well, it's a weird thing, man. It's a weird thing because at what point in time does someone have to get caught before they say, "Oh Jesus, these weren't just a coincidence. Someone was drowning people." Because I don't think it was a common thing. I think, like, you maybe get one a year. Some fucking drunk hops off a boat and doesn't know what he's doing and drowns. That does happen. But this is not that. This is way more. 38 bodies in a few years is kind of kooky.
Well, and how many of those, if you think about it, right, how many serial killers are out there? Because the FBI, obviously, they've done the analysis on it. There's probably like 100, 200, 300 active serial killers
Ask how
at
many
any
active-
point in time.
Always. There's always, always has been.
And most of them will all say, yeah, I wanted to get caught, or yeah, it took you long enough. Like I was getting sloppy, right? My murder lust took over.
There was 200 since 2004.
Oh
so
my
that's
gosh!
Like,
What?
Oh my God. Autopsy report found alcohol present in a large share of the cases, sometimes at levels above the legal driving limit, which is not much, by the way. The legal driving limit is like 2 drinks. And police specifically describe most Rainy Street area drownings as alcohol or drug related.
There's also, I've heard people getting, dosed. They get like roofied and whatnot, and they're like, I've heard a lot, too many cases. Never in a city have I lived, I've heard that many people saying they've been roofied.
Yeah. No, I think I don't think it's specific to here. I think it's everywhere. It's GHB, I think, is a lot of it. People are dosing people up with GHB. That's a big one.
How many serial killers are there?
Yeah. How many active serial killers do they estimate are in America right now? Let's guess. I'm going to say 10.
You think 10?
Yeah.
I think 100.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm going 100. This is like a Wheel of Fortune type scenario.
Yeah, man. Holy shit. 100's nuts. If it's 100,
I think it's 100.
that's
got it.
crazy.
300. Huh?
25 to 50 at
Wow.
any given time.
Wow, okay.
Wow. Range reflects killers who have committed at least 2 murders with a cooling off period and are still operating undetected. I like the cooling off period. Man, I need to take a break. You're scrubbing the fucking blood out of the inside of your fingernails.
All right.
Serial killings make up less than 1% of U.S. homicides overall. Numbers peaked at around 300 in the 1970s and 1980s. There was 300 active serial killers in the 70s and the 80s. I bet that was because that was when there was like Son of Sam, you know.
It was like trendy.
Yeah. I think it was probably a lot of bored dudes who just didn't like working in an office.
It's like
Yeah,
Ted
like-
Bundy and Son of Sam. All those guys were the Green
All over the
River.
news. All over the news.
Yeah.
It was huge. Why are there fewer serial killers now than there used to be? What was the answer?
Probably just 'cause it's easier to get caught now. People probably more afraid to try.
Yeah, because you think about all the technology and the surveillance. Like, you get rolled up.
Yeah.
You get a...
I think the creepiest one was that dude who studied serial killers in college and then went and killed those girls at that dorm house. You know that story? What was that in Seattle?
I think it was
in
Bundy.
Idaho. But
Yeah, it was Ted Bundy, right?
No, recent.
Different? Oh, it was
Yeah,
recent.
Recent, yeah. He knew the people that lived there. He studied. What did he study exactly in college? Like he was studying it, like he was trying to learn how to not get caught. Yeah, this guy, this fucking.
Whoa.
Horrific new details about the final moments of the Ford University of Idaho stabbing.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm to school. It's University of Idaho.
He stabbed the 4
Yeah.
victims at least 150 times
Yeah.
in total.
I didn't realize
Yeah.
that was like the case from Moscow.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. This sick fuck. So this guy, he was studying it in college. So I forget what criminal justice, let's see if we can find out. But it was very clear that he had been planning this a long time. And there was also a possible connection to him and some murders in the Pacific Northwest. That he knew the people who died in kind of a similar way. He might have gotten away with it up there.
Right.
So he tried it up there and went to Idaho.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. So he's educating himself on how to get away with it.
He was that guy that if you had your comms class, he'd be sitting there like this.
He's like way into it.
Yeah, way
Yeah,
into
yeah.
it. Way into
Oh,
it.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to know all the details.
The Pacific Northwest.
A bunch of serial killers from the processing of it. Like, what are those things when they're burning it?
Yeah.
What's that called?
Leaching.
Yeah, it was lead, but it was other stuff. It was other stuff like there's arsenic in it, and there's a lot of. What am I looking for? Not what is it? Why can't I come
I
up
would know if you got Stamets
Yeah,
on
that
here,
lady.
and she could talk about the mushroom and the fungi. Maybe it has something to do with.
I don't think so. I think that'll probably stop him from doing it. But
Yeah.
her take was that there was all these places. What is the term I'm looking for? Where they incinerate shit like a power plant, like a coal plant. There's a term. I can't remember what it is. Anyway, they're releasing an incredible amount of toxins in the atmosphere. And a lot of the shit is coming down in rain. It's getting in the ground. All the ground around there is all polluted.
Right.
Everything's polluted. And so what her take is that all these people have suffered chemical pollution. And a lot of that chemical pollution leads to all sorts of weird psychological disorders and psychosis and all kinds of shit, depending upon the levels of exposure.
So this is why you have increased serial killers in the Pacific Northwest. This is
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a bunch of power plants there.
Interesting.
Coal plants
Yeah.
and smelting and, just a lot of mining. There's a lot of mineral-rich resources up there. And
So I should be concerned because I spent most of my life up there. Well, half of it at least.
yeah. It depends. I think now they've cleaned it up, though. Like, she was connecting it to a long time ago. But there's areas back there where she was saying that they do an analysis of the soil. And it's just fucked.
How long has it been since you've done like Seattle?
Oh, I haven't been back in a while.
Like,
I did the Tacoma Dome with Dave Chappelle. We did that right before the pandemic popped.
oh, okay.
And I really haven't been back. it's just like once that whole Chaz thing went down and they locked off the block and the mayor said maybe it's the summer of love. Or maybe you've got some fucking crazy people that you've empowered to take over a giant swath of your city and you're cool with it. And you're the fucking mayor. And by the way, she is an upgrade compared to their current mayor. The current mayor went to Portland and he was like, bro, it's ramped it up a notch and moved to Portland because that was a place where you could do drugs and not worry about anything. But he was like, all the regular people are cracked.
The place, spending as much time as I have in Seattle, which I used to live there, I love that city. Late 90s, loved it.
Oh, it's
amazing.
Great. It was one of my favorite places to visit.
Such a cool spot.
Cool people.
And then you saw this flip, and it was right around 2010 is when things were really flipped over, and to your point, things were really flipped over, and to your point, so you could basically live in front of somebody's house. In a parking spot, and it couldn't write a parking ticket.
That started in 2010?
Give or take a couple of years. And so I went back to my I had a house up there for a while. And the day I decided that I was going to sell this place. We fly up there, daughter, she's like a year old. My wife and I are walking down the street. And this is like a year old. My wife and I are walking down the street. And this is a part of the city is called Ballard, which is a beautiful part of the city. Tons of like old bars, awesome place back late 90s, early 2000s. But then there was a camper in front of my condo, and there was a naked man with a tennis racket. My daughter's a year old. His dick's flying around, and my 1-year-old's like I'm holding her, like walking away from the other end. He's got a tennis racket, like playing the U.S. Open in his head, whatever he's doing. And then on the corner, no less than 50 feet away, there was a half-naked lady like taking a shit, and you're like, nah, time to leave. I think this is. I think we're all good here.
We had an issue like that in California for a while, where when the economy started to go south, well, this is pre-pandemic as well, we started having these campers camp out right in front of our studio. And they would, the studio where we had in LA, even in that place, it was the warehouse, we had a big lawn in front of the warehouse. And these guys would spread out on the lawn. So they would park their camper there, and then they would like cook out, and they would lay out. And so like you're in this, you're asking people to walk past these people to go do your podcast in this big ass warehouse that I had leased. And I was like, why are you doing this? Like, you can't be doing this. You can't just use my lawn as your front yard. Like, this is crazy. I mean, spread out, dude. They had shit laying out there.
There's nothing you can do.
Well, there was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we contacted the police, and the police eventually, they realized this is not a good thing, and they moved them all.
Wow.
But they moved them to different parts of town. And so then you would drive to, like, the more industrial areas of town that didn't, like, our place was, like, semi-industrial. There was a bunch of warehouses, but there was also a bunch of, like, foot traffic businesses, restaurants, and stuff like that. And so they moved them out of there. But if you go into the deeper industrial places where they have factories and stuff, they were there. Like, then it just started a community of fellow meth enthusiasts with campers. And a lot of the campers didn't even run. They could just get it to the...
Yeah, that's right. It's the same where we were at Salt Lake. I'd have full-time security out in front of it. Literally in front of it.
Our concern was when we left. It was like we left something about it. And so I was like, this can't have these guys knowing that famous people and, high-profile people are going to be. So you start engaging in meth smoking, and then it's always theft. Theft comes with meth smoking.
I hope.
And there's a lot of great friends in the area.
It's almost the difference between hashtag van life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
Right. Van life is like you want to be a guy who's not saddled down to one particular spot. You have a place that's in this van's driveway sometimes, and you would just travel to trailheads and live out of his van.
That's like the minimalist attraction. Munchy guys. They are hard committed, like bad mofos. When they're living in there's this great story about where he went to the store. He was climbing El Cap. And I'm trying to recall a story from some magazine 20 years ago. In general, where he went to the store county health for months. And this was one thing specific. And we went to the store to buy food. Dog was less expensive. I was like, I can buy dog food. And dog food is really and yeah, so you can climb and stay out there all along. Like, you wouldn't want to be behind that route, right? You would not want to be climbing behind that route.
Because I stopped giving my dog regular dog food. But when he was younger, all my dogs, I would just have them most of my dog food. Oh, this guy died. And then somewhere along the line, wait, how can it sit there? How can it just sit in that bag for a month? That's crazy. How can it sit on the shelf for years? That's nuts. That can't be good for you.
I can't wait to see what you do.
Frozen food, and then they're like that. But then I switched to farmer's dog, which is human grade food, which is lightly cooked. They fucking love it. That stuff I would eat. Like you smell it. It smells like food. It doesn't smell disgusting, right? But regular dog food is fucking terrible for a dog. It's not good for you. So if you have to eat that stuff, that kibble stuff, and you're gonna travel around, like, your God must be going like, what are you doing? What kind of chemicals are in here? What kind of preservatives are just nuking your gut?
I love the level of I love, like, when people drift over into crazy to where the level of passion translates directly into nothing else exists in their life, where they really live on food to do the thing that they love. That, to me, is like, you're an extremist, and I respect it. I'm like, you know what? Hey.
No, I can respect that.
Yeah.
You ever seen the movie Dirtbag?
No.
Show the movie Dirtbag. It's a great movie. It's about a guy who essentially ate that.
There was only divine.
This guy just camped out on the ground in front of his friends' houses. Most of the time didn't have a car. Just was just camping. That's all he did. He was always munching. And he had very detailed. Fred Brown, the dude's a legend.
Yeah.
So he had been doing this from 1950s. But he was a
very, very similar in the context of, I would imagine, the psychological makeup. And he started a gym at Jim Jones back in the day. Like, it was where a bunch of people, it was invite only. So you could only get invited. It was like a lot of special operations guys, CIA guys, and professional climbers. Like, everybody that was trying to push the envelope physically would go out and train with Mark. And I've been friends with him for years. Anything that he moves from, like, I'm going to be the best climber out there. I'm going to be such a he's a professional. He shot hipstick for a while, pistol shooter for a while, climber, and now he's a photographer. Like, everything he does it to a level of perfection that it probably drives everybody else's life bananas. Like, he's fascinating. He's a fascinating
life. Never like this guy. Like, everyone around him admire him and felt sad. Because, like, he died a dirtbag. He never had a family. And it's like all his ex-girlfriends talked about how interesting guy he was. All he wanted to do was, like, sleep on the ground and start climbing walls. His whole life.
But there's, like, if you think about everybody around us in their profession, right? Here at the APAC or that, all these other people that have that thing, pursuit of passion in that specific profession or product, whatever it might be, they're so committed to it that it's over. It's all consuming. Mm-hmm. Like, I've seen it because even when you go to play pool, I'm like, when you're in Vegas, you're on the wall.
Pool is my number one problem. That's my biggest one.
Really?
Yeah, that's the one where if I ever wanted to not do anything else, I'm done with everything. I'm just going to travel around and do tournaments. I could go crazy. I could go crazy and just do that. 100%.
Is it just the game fascinates you, the angles, the ability to just continue?
When you're taking a stick and you're hitting a ball into another ball with pinpoint accuracy into a pocket that table, it's 4¼ inches. So you've got the cube, the ball, the object ball, with tiny little space on each side. You gotta slip it through there. Oftentimes, 8 feet away, 7 feet away, 6 feet away with English. So you're putting spin on the cue ball, which implies a throw on the object ball. So if I put right hand spin on the cue ball and I hit the object ball, I have to calculate for the ball pockets it. Then it's got to go 1, 2, 3 rails for perfect position on the next ball. And I have to have an angle. Make sure that I have an angle for the following. Right? And you don't want to be trapped on the rails. You want to be off the rails. All these different things. You can't think about anything else. Your mind has to be clean. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. There's a lot of pressure when it comes to dating, especially in February. But you're putting too much on yourself and on your partner. There's no sort of get perspective or like growing problem in your relationship. The point is, you don't have to come up with a solution by yourself. Now, finding the right therapist can be tricky, but that's where BetterHelp comes in. They have an industry-leading match fulfillment rate, and they do a lot of the work finding the right therapist for you. Really, all you have to do is fill out a questionnaire, sit back, and wait. Tackle your relationship goals this month with BetterHelp. Sign up and get 10% off at BetterHelp.com/JRE. That's BetterHelp.com/JRE.
So if you've gotten treatment, like professional coaching, guys who come out like the best in the world have come out and play with you.
Oh yeah.
How do you do that? Like, what's your
Never. But I beat them some games. I can break them one out. So I'll break them out 1 or 2 games. They'll make so like if you have it's based on 1,000 points that you never miss. I'm like the 700, on a good day, 750 range. But a real world-class pro is in the like Federal Force, when it's broken in a couple of weeks, it gets tougher. Really? Yeah, the ball gets a little less slick, and you gotta hit the ball a little bit more pure, but on the side, fingers not tired.
So when you play with these guys, is it one of those things that they instantly humble you in the context of you start saying, I'm really confident in my game, and you step in?
No, not really. No.
There's not that big of a delta between.
There's a gap. There's definitely a gap. I mean, thank you very much. But it's a lot of it is just time. They spend 8 hours a day playing every day. If I spent 8 hours a day playing every day, I think I could play at a professional level. I wouldn't be able to beat the best guys.
No.
I would never be able to beat like the Coping Chongs and the guys that are at the very top, because those guys have been playing 8 hours a day for decades. They never stop.
What's a guy like that make annually in tournaments?
Now more than ever.
Really?
Yeah, because of Matchroom Pool. So Matchroom, the same company that Eddie Hearn owns that does a lot of boxing promotions, they're involved in a lot of sports. They've done an amazing job with pool, specifically with 9-ball. And they put on these huge tournaments. Saudi Arabia has a big one every year. They have this big world championships where they pay a ton of money. And so, a good player, like a top of the heap player, is making $500,000 plus a year.
Okay.
And then also endorsements. So they have endorsements like companies like Predator Qs, pay them, Q-Tech, all those different companies pay them X amount of dollars per year. They have a sponsor for the chalk they use. They have a sponsor for the tips they play with. All those different things. All that adds up.
So what's the difference then between, what is it, snooker? Is that the English? It's totally different.
It's a big table. It's a 12x6 as opposed to a 4.5x9. So it's a much bigger table. But the balls are smaller as well. And then their cues have these tiny little tips on them. They all play with ash cues, which is like a very stiff wood. And they play with like a solid wood cue. There's a lot of like pro pool players who switch to carbon fiber now. They play with carbon fiber cues. Because it's like it's a little bit more dense, so it moves the ball differently.
Is it fun? Have you played it?
Snooker? Yeah, I played it when I was in Scotland a little bit, but I only played by myself. It was just a table, and I was just whacking balls around. It's very difficult to pocket balls, but I don't even really understand the rules. I'd have to really pay attention. I watch it a little bit sometimes because I know how hard it is, to do what they're doing because you do have this enormous table. Their cloth is a lot slower too. It's not as slick of a cloth.
So it's got to be old, right? Is it older?
It's old. Snooker's old. So the original billiards game had no pockets. The original billiards game was 3-cushion billiards or bulk line, or there's a bunch of different billiards games where you play on a table, like say it was like this table, there's no pockets in it, there's just rubber rails all around it. And it's all about knocking one ball into the other ball, going 3 rails, and then colliding with the other. Yeah, it's just about scoring points. And I've watched a bunch of that online too, because it helps you understand angles, like as you go into a rail, because the angles change depending on how much English you put on it, how hard you hit it, whether you hit it with follow or draw. There's a bunch of different parts of the cue ball that you can contact with that radically changes the way the ball moves around on the table. So it's like you're calculating so many different things. There's geometry involved, there's touch and feel. There's all these factors that come into play when you're playing really well.
So that explains why archery is also somewhat of a fascination, because you have very similar aspects to archery directly translate. That's like why those things snap together.
Oh, for me, they're basically the same thing. It's basically the same thing. You're just doing it in a different way. You know, it's the same thing. It's like having everything just flowing together perfectly after like years and years and years of meticulous practice, and then start to come together. And then you pull that group out, it's nice and tight, like 65 yards, like, yeah, you got to dial it in. It's that feeling. It's the same thing as the world goes away. There is no room for anything when you ever pull that trigger. Whether it's in a pool when you're about to make a shot, whether it's an archery, there's no room for anything. That's what I like about it. I also like that there's no bullshit. There's no shenanigans. There's no personality. Nothing matters. Nothing matters. Did the ball go in the hole? If it did, you lose. If it did, you win. It's really clean. I like that.
Yeah, that's the thing about shooting just in general. If I'm hitting a target, it doesn't matter. I took my kids to the arcade the other day. And skee ball.
Oh yeah, I love skee ball.
I could spend an hour on that thing
just trying to get the
perfect lob in there. And it's like I used to tell people, I'm just a projectile enthusiast where I love hitting center mass of whatever. I'm still a 6-year-old kid. Yeah, it's like at the end of the day, now my tools are much more advanced, and I've got millions of dollars of training behind me, so I'm able to effective at hitting where I want to do that. But it still has the same exact thing. Like, if you're 6 years old hitting backhand with ego, or running or hitting
you're cleaning your mind. There's a lot of what working out is. It's not just physical, it's mental clarity. You relax the mind. Shooting, because it requires so much of you, everything else just get the fuck out of the way. Bills, this, that, I gotta call that guy, I don't wanna call him, fuck, I gotta deal with this thing, I have to call him hard, this deal sucks. It all goes away. It has to go away. If it doesn't go away, you miss. And then you go, fuck, why did I miss? You miss because you're distracted. Like, let's focus, put the fucking arrow in the knock, put it in there, draw it back, center, calm, relax. At that moment, at that moment, there is nothing else in there. There's nothing. And then, you get this nice burst of happiness when you watch that fucking arrow just drop right in exactly where you want it to. Like, and at the end of that, I feel like my head works better. It's a focus exercise which excites all your synapses, and then on top of that, it's a mental cleaning. Like Fred Berry's like something about, I forgot but it's not about, there's nothing like shooting a bow that clears a man's mind. It's totally true. There's something about archery in particular that just cleans your mind.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I used to have this trad bow. That's how it started. Like a story. So I'd stuff the old coffee bags, the Big Black coffee bags, stuff them up and fill them up, and I started shooting a crowd there originally. While the roasting cycle took like 8.5 minutes. So I couldn't really do anything. I'm like watching, coffee roast, which is just kind of a dry. So I was just and then Dudley was like, "Why do you shoot that thing? It's so stupid. Like, don't you like to hit what you shoot at?" I'm like, "I'm just doing it for fun, man. Like, I'm a happy-go-lucky guy. I just want to like active form of meditation." But what I did realize was it was such a good flush out all this negative shit that I was working through or dealing with. That's it. So being able to translate that to other people, especially women, huge. Because they can know how to subculture, they can be part of it, they can geek out on all the nuclear arrowheads, wade into the infinite, never-ending debate around shit around cutting surface area and fucking, mass and velocity, and like you'll never get tired because it's like full of its own little drama, and it's like a bunch of nerd shit that you can actually have a lot of fun with.
So much nerd shit. That's what people don't. And they don't expect nerd shit, like real complicated technical nerd shit from archery. You don't think of it that way. But it's like many things. Like once you get into it, you realize like, there's a learning curve to this motherfucker. Like whenever one of my friends is like, "I want to go bowling," I'm like, "Dude, face shooting." Like, don't tell me, like, it's not that, you gotta die in off that cliff. This is not like I'm gonna go dip my waters in the bow hunting. I'm gonna go shoot an elk. Like, Jesus Christ, do you know how hard that is to do? You got fucking, there's so many moving parts, there's so many things, you have to be able to be proficient under extreme stress. There's so much going on here, man. Don't tell me you want to do that unless you gotta show me. Get involved or take people on. That's not happening. You're not gonna be stomping on twigs near me, and you're not gonna be not checking the wind. All these things are not going to happen.
Well, they like the idea, right? Yes. Like they like, and there's plenty of people. They're like, they're window shoppers in this activity, right? They're walking by and they're like, "That looks cool."
Right.
But they don't like the realities of what it actually takes because it's so fucking hard. And it like ruins you a lot of times. Like, I mean, in the last few years, we've done enough together. Like, dude, I've been psychologically ruined by like shooting something or making a bad shot or like just devastating.
Missing.
Like,
it's like you can't figure out why you missed.
No, and then you're running through it a thousand times. Like, what did I do? Okay, how do I do better? And then you're like, okay.
But you're the kind of guy that does the process in your head and then improves and keeps getting better. For some people, that will ruin their life. Mm-hmm. Like the one bad thing that happens will ruin their fucking life. Because they spent all these months preparing, they paid for a tag, they hired an outfitter, and then floink, dunk the shot, and fucking ruin their whole week, and then they go back home. "How'd your hunt go?" "Oh, I missed." Or I wounded it.
Well, and it's a lesson in life. Mm-hmm. Like you can work harder than you've ever worked.
And still fail.
And still fail.
Yeah.
You can work for a decade of your life. You can shoot and train. And you can put in all the work and still fuck it up.
And there's guys who, in the same situation as you, would succeed.
Yeah.
So you got to figure out what are they doing different? Why are they better? Keep getting better. Like there's hunts that I've been successful on recently, within the last few years, that I know that if I had that same hunt 8-9 years ago, I probably would have not been able to make that shot.
Right.
I wasn't as good then, so I've gotten better. It's like I think everybody needs something that you can't master, that is hard to do, that cleans your mind. I think people need stuff to clean their mind, and I think that's why so many people are running around all fucked up, because you're looking at social media all day, so that gives you anxiety. Your life is not satisfying, so that gives you anxiety. You don't take care of your body, so that gives you anxiety. You have all these things, and you're stuck in traffic. That gives you anxiety. Everybody's just mentally all fucked up. And so you go to a doctor, and the doctor says, well, obviously you're dealing with depression, and I can prescribe to you this or that or the other. And then you're on Lexapro or whatever the fuck you're on. And that's the road they go down. And this is a bad road. It's not a road where you're going to improve your life. And there's other ways to do it. And I think there'd be a lot more happy people in this world if you found a thing. It doesn't have to be archery. It doesn't have to be pool. It doesn't have to be jiu-jitsu. It doesn't have to be pistol shooting. It just has to be something that's hard to do, that you are on this quest to make these incremental improvements. And through that focus of incremental improvements, you improve your human potential. You improve your ability as a person to do difficult and to handle situations. So I always tell people, if you do jiu-jitsu, you'll be much happier, because the stresses of life are nothing compared to a dude who's trying to literally break your arm.
Right.
He's on top of you, and you're defending, and then you get out of it, and then you get him, or he gets you, and then you have to tap, and you go over again. That is so hard to do that, like, regular life becomes like a breeze. It becomes a breeze. It makes everything. Jiu-jitsu people are some of the most relaxed people I've ever been around in my life. They're all friendly to everybody. They're never talking shit or causing drama, problems. They get it all out.
Yeah, I think there's something about getting the shit kicked out of yourself too, right? So, like, there's something about facing someone, which I don't do jiu-jitsu, just, as a caveat to that, but being able to, like, face another person in a scenario and then compete against them.
Yeah.
Right? So where everything counts, and then literally just getting the shit beat out of yourself and going, okay, well, I'm going to step back up. I'm going to do it again, right?
Yeah, and get better.
That level of teaching yourself mental endurance, like, that is the thing that I constantly think about my kids. Like, I'm like, how do I be compassionate, caring, loving, the dad that wants to give them everything? And then how do you, like, translate that into also creating obstacles that will drive mental courage, right?
I think
courage.
you do it by example. I think that's the best way. Yeah. My opinion is, like, if you look at Cam Haynes' sons, I mean, he was rough raising his kids. He talks about that. But those kids are exceptional. They're fucking exceptional.
Yeah.
One son's a ranger. The other son broke the world chin-up record. And, he runs marathons with jeans on. And, like, he's fucking got two savage kids. And why? Well, look at the environment they grew up in.
Right.
They grew up with a dad who's supremely disciplined. And just by being in his presence, you realize, like, I can achieve a lot more than other people can if I'm just willing to put in that work. And for a lot of people, that's that feeling of, like, the anxiety of the struggle and of grinding it out, and, like, that scares them, and they don't want to do it. And so they come up with excuses, or they retreat into other things, and they distract themselves. And if you're a parent that does that, you create a weird environment for your child, because your child is sort of imitating you as a leader, and you're a fuck up, and you're always making excuses, and you get fired a lot, or you sleep in a lot, or you do things that, like, are not admirable. And then that child, fuck life, man. Whereas, his kids are probably like, Jesus Christ, Dad's a fucking animal. Like, I want to be an animal too. And then you see how people respect his father, and they go, oh, okay, I want people to respect me like that too. You hear what people talk about him when he's not around. Like, well, I want people to respect me.
Right.
Well, there's only one way to do that. You have to be worthy of respect. There's only one way to get there. It's a fucking long road. Good luck. Start going. And you're not going to get any satisfaction for a long-ass fucking time, other than the fact that you're on the path, that you're involved in the process, and you're on the journey.
Yeah, the grind, right? And it's like, it's overused, but the level of endurance, like, in courage, when it's like that trait alone, just trying to understand courage, like, who has it, who doesn't have it, and then the level of commitment to a mission or something bigger than yourself. It's the thing that I think about. I'd say a huge percentage of the last several years, especially, as I get a little bit older, right, a little bit further away from the GWAT. And I was with I'm doing a documentary on Earl Plumley. You know who that is?
No.
So he's a Medal of Honor recipient, former Green Beret. We were at the UFC fight with Elliot Miller and Earl Plumley. Earl Plumley is an incredibly humble guy, like just an amazing human. Like you can sit here and talk to him. You'd never in a million years know that this guy had earned the Medal of Honor. Never. Like, because one, he's never going to tell you. Two, he's going to ask you 100 questions about you and be way more fascinated with that. And three, you know, we were having this conversation. He's like, man, it belongs to the guys. Like, I didn't do anything. Like, it belongs to the guys. Like, the guys, any of the guys, if they wouldn't have been shot, would have done the same exact thing that I did. And I was like, man, that is an incredible statement from, you know, a guy that's sitting here. And so this documentary follows his path from joining the Marine Corps, which was literally where the judge, you know, those old stories of the guy that was like forced by the judge to join the military or jail. He literally has that. And it starts, he goes into, you know, the Marines, and then he's a Force Recon Marine, and he had gone through all the selections, and then he got out of the Marine Corps, joined the Army, and we follow his story through the eyes of his peers and his leaders, because we wanted to see from his perspective, what do other people say about him through his entire journey? Not the story from his perspective. One, he'll never tell it the way that it's probably needs to be told. Two, what were the choices that he made throughout his professional life that made the man that was capable of such an incredible act of courage that it warranted the highest medal, you know, literally earned in the United States military. And that single word, courage, how do you build courageous people, is a fascinating, it's quite literally, it's such a fascinating subject. And most of it is, it's the man in the arena, right? It's that poem from Teddy Roosevelt. It's like, it's not the critic who counts. It's like keeping up, stepping back in, this commitment to something greater than yourself, and then making these thousands of choices in your life every day as you wake up, step forward, step back into the fray, and like make the active decision to be better. And it's like, it's such a fucking fundamental thing of being able to, any part of your life. If you don't get up in the morning, like, commit yourself to something. I'm not a motivational speaker, but it's, how are you ever going to get better if you're not committing to something, like being a better dad or a better husband or better, you know, better at your profession, and then committing to this evolutionary process takes not only a huge amount of commitment, but mental and physical endurance. It does. And I'm never going to get tired of trying to figure this out, because obviously it's like my peer set. I was having this conversation with Jack Carr, and I ran into the airport. We ran into each other at the airport on the way down here, and we were talking about.
Fucking love that guy.
Fucking such a good dude. And it's not just in the military, right? It's not. It's just.
Yeah, in all of life.
Yeah, all of life.
Yeah, you find exceptional people in all of life, and they're fuel. Those people are fuel. And they enhance the lives of the people around them. And then if you become one of those guys, you enhance the lives of the people around you, and then you feed off of them, and they feed off of you, and everybody feeds off of each other. And it's so good for you to know that people like that are out there. That there's a guy like that, capable, incredible courage. And then how did he get there? What did he do? How did he become the man he is right now? Because goddamn, he's an admirable man. So how do I get there? Yeah.
And there's all these stories that Jack and I talking about. Because, you know, the Navy SEALs obviously have got a lot of positive PR over the last several years. This special operations community has got so much just airtime, right? But there are all these other people in the military throughout, you know, generations of warfighters that have gone out and done these incredibly hard jobs. And I found this story of the Apache, which is the USS Apache, which is the most decorated submarine and ship in Navy history. They have 9 original citations. It's the most decorated group of men in the U.S. Navy, like, in modern history. And everything they've done is still classified. It's a Cold War era nuclear submarine that was modified and ultimately passed out by the CIA to go out and do collection. And they were the guys that, hundreds of feet down, they would land on the bottom of the ocean. And the Soviets had these military communication lines, basically hard lines that go under the bay, so they could communicate back and forth, and they felt like they were secure. And one of their jobs, which is, I've never been able to see anything declassified, but the stories that are out there, these guys would land on the bottom of the ocean, send out divers at hundreds of feet, and these guys would hook listening devices on those lines, hundreds of feet down, like in cold, dark water. Can you imagine, dude? Like, you're out in 400 feet or 300 feet of water, pitch black, you can't see anything, and your job is to go and put a listening device on a Soviet communication line in 1986 or whatever it was. And you're in enemy territory. So if you get discovered, you're dead. And none of these guys, that's the incredible thing, none of these guys have ever said anything about it. Decades, and not only decades of missions, months away from home, none of these guys have said a fucking thing. They've not been on a podcast. They've not written any books. And the only thing they say is, yeah, we go around. Unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
Like, I've been able to see. I can go out and do shit, and like, they still have the ability to see. I can't imagine being in like 300 feet of water and pitch black. If you lose a glove, right, or something goes wrong, how are you going to get back to the boat? Like, and you're going to have to get back to the boat and then get back into American territory without being discovered. And more importantly, you're going to do this how many times over the course of your career?
And does the listening device require them to gather the information while they're at the bottom of the ocean, or does it transmit?
I think it transmits.
Yeah, that's much more convenient.
It's not declassified. So who knows?
Right, who knows?
And they don't talk about it.
Wow.
They don't talk about it.
That's crazy.
I was talking to Jack and I were talking about it. Still buttoned up, not saying a fucking word.
They picked the right guys.
They picked the right guys.
Yeah, there's guys like that out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they don't have to be famous either. There's a lot of people out there. They're just doing
the mission.
Yeah.
They'd come home, not tell their families.
Yeah.
Their wives would be pissed off. What are you doing? Out on the boat with all your friends for months, just hanging out, hot racking,
Yeah.
Like, I can't say anything.
You have to have the right wife.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have a woman that can understand that, that becomes a real problem.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of them ended up in divorce.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was part of the Bob Lazar story. The Bob Lazar was the guy that worked at Area 51.
Yeah.
He couldn't tell his wife what he was doing. And they would call him at like 10 p.m. There's a flight for you that leaves at 11:15. Be at the airport. And he had to leave. And he would tell his wife, I got to go to work. And she's like, it's 11 o'clock at night. He's like, I have to go to work. What are you doing? He's like, I can't talk about it. Because all his phones were bugged. Everything was bugged.
Right.
So his wife is like, this motherfucker's cheating on me. She starts fucking her flight instructor. And that's one of the reasons why they removed him from his duties. Because they're like, this guy's going to be unstable. We have to see how he handles this. Because he's involved in this top secret back engineering of a flying saucer program. And we have to, keep him in this motherfucker because he can't be mentally unstable and have this kind of responsibility. Because he couldn't tell her. Couldn't tell her anything. He can't tell her. Yeah. And then eventually he took her to the sites where he explained to everybody when he thought that his life was in danger and he was getting fired. Things started getting sideways. He's like, you need to know about this. He took her out there and he showed her. But he didn't know that she was fucking some other guy at that time.
It's so unfortunate.
Unfortunate. Yeah.
Look at this is what I'm doing. I'm doing
I wonder if she's like, fuck, she just said that.
Yeah, I feel bad now. years of my life, I didn't tell anybody, couldn't tell anybody who I worked for or what I did. And I didn't have a life. I just not really say anything. And I just dip out. I kind of dipped out from my family. My dad was like, very concerned. I never hear from my kid. I don't know what he's doing. Just busy, man. But it weighed on me. This kind of sucks.
Yeah, not being able to tell people about something you're doing. It's hard. Like, you can never show someone part of who you are. There's always going to be a door that's closed. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah, it's difficult. It was like my wife, when we first got together, she was the first girl. First woman, I should say. She was the first woman in If I get rolled up, who cares? I'm out.
Was she initially like, how did she handle it?
Well, so we were.
Did you give her like details?
No. Because she had met some of my friends, right? And the guys from the community were obvious because they look like you. And they're jacked, tattooed, a lot of them are big dudes. It looks like the Hells Angels. Right. So, I don't work for the State Department. It's fairly obvious. State Department, they're in suits and, they're come out of Harvard and they use really long words all the time. They're not they don't look like they're getting ready to commit a felony. And so she would be around, at our kitchen table or whatever, and we'd have all these guys that look like, they're NFL Hells Angels. And I look like this, which, is intimidating nonetheless. But I could get away with it. I could say that. But they could. She's like, well, so you work for the State Department, but what is it that you actually do? Right? You're not a janitor, obviously. I'm like, we train assistant providers. After a while, getting to know her, 6 months or however long, we're driving down the road, and I was like, what are you, fucking idiot? And it's funny because even now today, right? It's like drinking at the kitchen table, talking shit about everybody that used to work with. Yeah, that's right. It's and it's so dramatic, right? It's such a sewing circle at times with people, and it's all the same people are the same regardless of your profession. It's they're always talking shit.
About with people that are just on a date with.
Yeah.
Not even your wife of 10 years. No, some lady or some guy. It's a lot of it's chatty gay guys.
Yeah.
A lot of it is gay guys I'll tell you how to do it. And they're on a date with some guy and they're trying to impress him and they start telling about what secret covert things they're doing that's totally illegal. And they do it all the time.
Oh, it happens all the time in DC.
The same,
it doesn't really matter what party or wherever you go. You always have the guy, and it's so funny because I would go to whatever party X, and depending on the venue, it might be like State Department, FBI, or whomever, and you can always tell who works for whom, and it's always they're always trying to out jockey each other for who works for the better government service. Just sit back and listen. You're like, let me hear where this guy's going. This is going to be a fun one. You're like, holy shit.
Get a couple of drinks in them.
Yeah. And it's just full of shit. They're just like, it's so full of shit.
Well, that's the thing about important people that have achieved a high level of success. Everybody wants to pretend they're that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that want to pretend they're that person. Martial arts, especially so in the 80s when I first started, no one knew anything. It wasn't like today. Today, if you get in a street fight, if you're a high school kid and you get in a street fight with another high school kid, there's a high likelihood that kid knows how to leg kick. Right. He might know a blast double. He might know an arm triangle. You might get fucked up. They might know how to fight. They didn't know how to fight. It was very rare. There was one kid who knew how to box. It was always the wrestling team, which were the most dangerous people. Those guys were the worst. They're the hardest motherfuckers in school, always. And I didn't even realize that until I started wrestling. I was like, I'm amongst these fucking elite killers, and they're just walking around with everybody like they're normal. And you realize the level of commitment and dedication involved in being an elite high school wrestler, just a high school wrestler. It's fucking off the charts. These kids were going to camps all through the summer. They would get sent off to wrestling camp. They were training year round. And I just opted in my sophomore year. I did 1 season of wrestling. And I was like, this is crazy. Like the level, I had no idea. I was hanging around with these people. I thought they were normal people. They were like kids that were like little soldiers. Right. Like all of them. Thick-necked little fucking soldiers. And you realize, like, wow. They like opened my eyes. Like, Jesus, there's these people around. And they were never even considered martial artists until the UFC. Nobody really understood, unless they actually did wrestling, how helpless the average person is with an elite wrestler. You have no chance. Like, it's not like maybe you'll be able to hit him before he takes you down. No chance. He's gonna shoot on you. He's gonna fucking. You have no chance. You have zero chance. But there was always a bunch of guys who were pretending they were martial arts experts. It was a really common thing. And then you would talk to them, like, where do you train? What do you do? And it was always some guy who like learned some There was one guy. This guy actually wound up getting arrested for murder, and he's in jail right now. Yeah, he had lied to everybody and told them that he was a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and he was even teaching people. He knew almost nothing. And this is like in the early 2000s, I guess, like the late 90s, early 2000s, and it was just starting to catch on. Like people were just starting to understand the depth of martial arts because of the UFC, but it hadn't really gone mainstream until about 2005. And this guy was telling everybody he was a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and then Eddie Bravo didn't know shit. He didn't know shit. And he's like, he goes, yeah, I think he's a fake. I think he's a fraud. And he wound up confronting this guy. And then the guy wound up confronting this guy. And then the guy wound up, he was banging some guy's wife and wound up luring the guy back to his karate school. Failed Tori, that was his fake name, but his real name was like Ralph something or other. And he's in jail right now for murder.
But that's a super funny character. Not that guy, but it's
a fake black
belt.
But
a fake martial artist. Who was that? There's a movie years ago where it's like 1 foot the way of 1 foot or something. Have you ever watched that? Yeah, with Danny McBride.
Yeah, it's
and
awesome.
It was fucking hilarious, man. And it's like that guy, that like character, that strip mall. You know, martial artist is just a piece of shit.
Yeah. There's a guy on
hilarious.
Instagram that documents all these guys. It's McDojo Life on Instagram. It's a fucking great page because it's all people doing bullshit fake martial arts like death touch, like people that can like touch your forehead and you like go limp and fall to the ground, and you get all their students become like brainwashed and they go along with this whole facade. It's really weird. They're in on the charade. It's very strange.
Super weird. It's like, it's very cultish. Like
martial arts are very cultish, especially traditional martial arts. Like your instructor is always sir, you're always bowing to them. There's always a lot of weirdness inside. Yeah. And in like traditional Taekwondo, you always would refer to your instructors as Mr. It was Mr. I hated it. I was like, you don't have to.
How many years did you do that?
Oh, like hardcore for 7 years. Yeah. Hard.
Reach future fans, A&Rs, and beyond. Introducing Buzzin'.
hardcore.
And then you switched over to jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, I switched over to jiu-jitsu a few years later. I stopped fighting when I was 22, and then I was like doing comedy. I started doing comedy at 21, and I kind of half-assed still trained and fought a few times while I was also doing comedy, but I didn't have the commitment that I had before. I'd had a series of events that led me out of like wanting to compete, and one of them was recognizing brain damage, recognizing it in other people, recognizing it in friends, and then laying in bed with headaches after sparring sessions going, okay, where does this lead? And I'm not even making any money off of this. And then there was a guy that I hurt really bad in a tournament. I knocked this one guy out when I was 19 in California. I was competing in the Nationals, and I KO'd this guy, and he never got up. They had to take him on a stretcher, and he was on a stretcher for half an hour, and they took him to the hospital, and it freaked me out because I was like, that could have easily been me. It easily could have been me. And that one bothered me because I was like, what am I doing? Like, why am I doing this? Like, I'm trying to win, the national championships. I'm trying to be in the Olympics. I'm trying to do these things. But I'm like, okay, well, where does that lead me? To teaching? Do I really want to? I was already teaching at the time, but do I really want to teach for a living forever? I'm like, I don't think I do. There's not, and then recognizing that the martial art that I had picked, Taekwondo, had a lot of flaws in it. It was really good for kicking, but it wasn't the best overall martial art. And when I started kickboxing, I really realized that. And then I started getting into Muay Thai, and I realized the power of leg kicks, and with the devastating impact it has on your mobility, and like one or two leg kicks, and you're so compromised. It's like, oh, there's so many levels to this. So I was like kind of half-assing martial arts like the last year, not nearly as committed. Like I was all in all throughout my high school years, all in until I was 21. And then from 21 to 22, kind of half-assed it. And then I didn't start doing jiu-jitsu until years later.
So what's going on at like 21, 22? And you like, what are you thinking? Do you remember what you're thinking? Like I'm going to be an actor. I'm going to be a comic.
No.
What are you thinking?
I didn't think I was going to be a comic until I did an open mic night when I was 21. And then even then, I was like, this is just something that I think I can do. But when I'd bomb, I'd be like, fuck, I should go back to fighting. I just couldn't get a few. And then you know what happened? I tore my ACL. And when I tore my ACL, I had to have surgery, and I couldn't do anything for like 6 months. And then I realized like my body's vulnerable. Like you're counting on your tissue staying intact in order to like live this life that you want to live. So I had to get my knee reconstructed. I was like, all right.
So that was the first knee reconstruction?
Yeah.
That was back then?
Yeah. I was 22, I think, when I blew it out. 21, somewhere around then. It was like right around the time when I was like thinking about stopping competing. It's like like the universe was like, let me help you.
Right.
Let me fuck your knee up real quick. So I had to get that fixed, and that takes a little while before it gets back to normal again. But the comedy became a thing where I was like, this is very exciting and really difficult to do, and so different than anything else I was doing. Where you have to get the people to like you. Like it's dependent upon like personality, and whereas with martial arts, I wanted them to not like me. I loved it. I didn't have any problem. Like no one's gonna save you. It doesn't matter if these people hate me, and if you're looking at me and there's just you and me and a referee. I liked it. I liked that this person had like a bunch of like one of my favorite things was like hearing cheers stop. Like when people were cheering, like, get him, fuck yeah, kick his ass, then whump. And then the guy would collapse, and then you hear silence. You just hear silence, especially if you go to where they live.
Right.
Like if you had to go to Ohio and fight in Ohio. I just loved that silence. It was this final moment. And my thing was I would always walk away like it was normal. I would never celebrate. I would just walk away like I do this every day. I'm going to do this to the next guy too. This is what I'm going to do to you. And I would always take naps too. That was the other thing I did when everybody was freaking out before fighting, before sparring. I would go to sleep in front of everybody. I'd just put a hoodie on, just lie down on the ground and go to sleep.
Is that like where you try to fuck with them a little bit?
It was a
Or
little bit of fucking with them. It was a little bit of I'm so relaxed that I'm
Right.
going to take a nap here while you're freaking out. But it was also I wanted to do it for my own mind. I wanted to just like be. I was so in my own head. I was so in my own like what I'm going to do. I wasn't thinking about all these other external things until that one knockout. That's when I really started thinking about what could happen to me. Because I had gotten really lucky where I'd never really been hurt in a tournament. Never got dropped, never got knocked out, never got really rocked. But I did it to a lot of people. And then I was like, this is coming around. Like, it's only a matter of time before I get whomped. It happens. It's just going to happen. I'm going to fight some national champion guy.
Right.
And I'm going to zig when I should have zagged. And I'm going to catch a heel to my fucking jaw. And that's going to be a wrap. I'm going to be waking up in the hospital.
That's interesting that you had that thought early on to where you're like,
Well, I started seeing brain damage in other people. It was specifically when I started kickboxing, because I was training at boxing gyms, and I started seeing guys who were fucking. There was like a slurry aspect to the way they talked. There was a labored thing to their speech. There was something about them, and then I would see it degrade over time. You know, like I really started getting involved in sparring and boxing when I was about 19. And that was also around the time where I started losing my enthusiasm for Taekwondo, because I just realized the no punching in the face thing in tournaments was so limited. It really, it fucked you up because it gave you this illusion that you could pull things off, where all the guy would have to do is jab you in the face. You're like, oh, okay. Like at this
Como. Come on, man. Okay. Home lobby.
Dragon Ball Genshin Squadron.
This is all part of a virtuous plan. This is all part of my virtuous plan. Soon the world I've been dreaming of for so long will be made manifest. Soon the world I've been dreaming of for so long will be made manifest. Soon the world I've been dreaming of for so long will be made manifest. Soon the world I've been dreaming of for so long will be made manifest. Soon the world I've been dreaming of for so long will be made manifest. Soon the world I've been dreaming of for so long will be made manifest. Soon the world I've been dreaming of for so long will be made manifest.
Thanks for the follow. Wala.
Sure, I can do this alone. Why not?
Lift off. 그치.
Buckle up. Try this on.
What the?
Have a hat. Yeah, now I see. Seek and destroy. Happy hunting. Resistance is key. Right this way. Easy banana. Try this on.
Thanks for the follow. Jesus.
Yeah, back to the garage. Great choice.
An allied tower is under attack.
And destroy. Better and better. Have a hat. Happy hunting. Nowhere.
Enemy tower is under attack.
Don't be shy. Seek and destroy. Can't take much more of this.
Mwah, mwah.
Hey, ready when you are. Happy hunting. Have a hat. Try this on. After you. Seek and destroy. Have a hat. All right, time to head back.
Alright.
An enemy tower is under attack.
Okay, I need this. Happy hunting.
Ally has been slain.
convenience. It is
Right this way.
has no meaning. We have left it right.
Let 'em cook.
Enemy has been slain. An allied tower is under attack.
Take a break.
Take a hike.
I was just thinking I could use that. Don't be shy. Better and better. Let's keep our distance.
Killing spree.
Try this on. And destroy. After you. Have a hat. Happy hunting. Right this way.
An allied tower is under attack.
All right, time to head back. Tesla Great choice. Have a hat. Persistence is happy hunting. Try this on. Have a hat. Don't be shy.
Uh-oh.
Easy now. Hold it. Coffee now.
An enemy tower is under attack.
Hunting.
Your destruction is ours.
After you. Have a hat. Seek and destroy. Try this on. Tools and tap. Right this way.
An allied tower is under attack.
Try this on. Gimme.
Destroyed.
My favorite. Don't be shy. Never trust something you can't disassemble.
Enemy towers under attack.
Have a hat! Happy hunting! After you! Seek and destroy.
An ally has been slain.
This ain't right.
Enemy tower is under attack.
A break.
Take a
Retreat.
Try this on. After you. Better and better.
An ally tower is under attack.
Never saw it coming. Have a hat. They won't know what it. Don't be shy. That's pretty banged up.
Double kill. An ally tower is under attack. An ally tower
Stop this! Hey, ready when you are. Okay, I need this.
An ally has been slain. An ally tower is under attack.
Yeah, Tesla dome ready.
Enemy has been slain. An ally tower has been destroyed.
Happy hunting. Let 'em cook. Try this on. Right this way.
fucker.
An ally tower
Copy. Now.
And the tower has been destroyed.
Great choice. Have a hat. After you. And yeah, now I see. Big rocket. Don't be shy. Tesla don't charge. My favorite invention. Easy now. Torn apart.
Retreat.
Await my
I'm still the gas station. Whisper the veil. Hey, ready when you are. I was just thinking I could use.
On my way, Mitt.
Try this on. And destroy.
Help me, yes,
This whole hurt.
An allied tower is under attack.
Defend mid lane.
An allied tower has been destroyed.
Defend mid lane.
Echoes of the past. Never trust something you can't disassemble.